What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome into our weekly live show where we break down the latest around your favorite football team. And it's playoff time here on the channel. It's playoff time for the Minnesota Vikings, and I couldn't be more excited. But hey, first off, if you guys want your Minnesota Vikings to beat the Los Angeles Rams, just give me a skull down below in the comment section. I already got a bunch of real ones in the building. Aiden, Ty Man, the Buckeye, JD Productions, Mush AK, and speaking about a real one, and a real one who's wearing a real one's jersey, Jack Loneray. Welcome in, my friend. Great to have you. Skull.
Skull.
Skull. Skull. Skull. Skull. Skull. Skull. Skull. Skull. Skull. Jack, I might need to have you stand up and show the fellas what jersey we're rocking with today.
First things first.
Yep.
1 year anniversary.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, it is a 1 year anniversary. And turn it around. He's got the number 9 J.J. McCarthy jersey. We were super honored to have Jack Loneray in the building producing today's live show. He's our Michigan guy. Now he's going to be our Vikings guy. It's going to be a lot of fun. So everybody give me a skull, Jack, down below. Welcome him to the Vikings Now family. He's going to be producing the live show today, so shout out to him, rocking the J.J. McCarthy jersey. He asked me, he was like, should I keep it on? I said, hell yeah. Show off some love for our man, J.J. McCarthy. But shout out to Ben, Aiden, JD Productions, Jane Metz, Roger Bong, Ronald Burgett, a bunch of real ones in the house. As I put the live poll, and I think this is the biggest number we have had for an opposing team in a weekly live show. I said just who you got, Vikings, Rams. We actually got 11% of the votes coming in for the Los Angeles Rams. I have not seen that over 5% since the beginning of the season. So I think you guys are a little shook from what Sam Darnold put on film over this past weekend. But speaking about Darnold, I'll ask you guys this. What is your confidence level in Sam Darnold as it stands right now? Scale it for me 1 through 10 down below. Now, I'll say this. I'm not going to let a one-game sample size completely negate what Sam Darnold did for the previous 16 games. And, I totally get it. What he put out there Sunday night against the Lions, I mean, it was his worst performance as a Minnesota Viking by far. He was inaccurate. He was sailing passes. He never found a rhythm at all throughout the game. I mean, the amount of screenshots I've seen on Twitter of him just missing open wide receivers is staggering. But, I'll say this. I'm going to say that Sam Darnold bounces back in a big way this weekend. And, there's really two viewpoints you could take out of this, where it's like the optimistic view where it's like, oh, Darnold got the jitters out of the way. That was his real first big time game in his NFL playing career. Or you could take the pessimistic view where it's like, oh, Darnold just can't play in big games. And he's kind of got that Kirk Cousins Monday Night Football yips to him. Now, I'm going to take the optimistic view. I'm going to say that's not the case. But you guys let me know 1 through 10. How much confidence do you have in Sam Darnold? Got a lot of 6 and 7s rolling in. 5 split going to 10 on Darnold. He just had a bad game, bro. Yeah, listen, I want to take that viewpoint of that as well. But still, it is just tough to see the performance he put out there against the Lions and just say, hey, I got full faith that he's going to bounce back to who he was against the Seahawks and the Packers the 2 previous weeks. But, I'm with you, Barb. Barb saying, yeah, you learn from your mistakes. And hopefully that's the case with Darnold. Because also I was talking to Harrison Graham, our Bears Now host, before we went live. And we were just discussing the possibility. Let's just say the Vikings went out and they beat the Rams. And then you set up where you get a home divisional round playoff game coming off the bye. What if the Sam Darnold yips game would have came in that matchup? Where instead, he gets it out of the way now. Hopefully he can go on a big-time playoff run for our purple and gold this season. But we'll talk about Darnold and the whole Vikings crew a little bit more in depth throughout the whole live show. But first off, I do want to tell you guys about my favorite sponsor, or one of my favorite sponsors we have here at Chat Sports, and that is Game Time. Now, if you guys download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS, you guys will get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Tickets are pretty expensive for this Rams game this Monday night. And if you guys are trying to make the trip out west, use Game Time. Get $20 off your first purchase. Just make sure you guys plug in that promo code CHATSPORTS. And also, I want to give another massive shout out to another sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Now, if you guys download the Prize Picks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. And here's a little sneak peek of my lineup. Vikings versus Rams, Monday Night Football, where I'm going to take the more on Justin Jefferson, 88.5 receiving yards. Then I think sneaky play right here. Aaron Jones, more than 20.5 receiving yards. I think he's going to have a big day in the pass-catching department. Then also Tyler Higbee, Rams tight end. I'm going to take his more on 21.5 receiving yards there. But whether you guys want to fade my picks or ride with my picks, I just suggest you guys do so at PrizePicks. So download the app today, plug in that promo code CONS, get $50 instantly. After you play your first $5 lineup. But massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. Link for you guys in the live chat and description. But shout out to PrizePicks. Run your game. All right, you guys be the coach for me, because we're going to dive into a full segment on 5 changes I'm going to have for the Minnesota Vikings heading into this Rams game. But I'll ask you guys this. What do the Vikings need to change before the Rams game? Let me know your thoughts down below. Is Isaac saying we need Hockenson to lock in? Yeah, listen, I thought Hockenson played a bad game against the Lions. Just call a spade there. He dropped a lot of those 50-50 contested catches. And if Hockenson, was just a C, B level tight end, I wouldn't expect him to make those plays. But with how much he's getting paid, what we've seen in the past, you expect those balls to go Hockenson's way. And that just wasn't the case Sunday night versus the Lions. So I expect him to, have another big time bounce back performance against the Rams there. As Roger's saying, fast passing game. We'll talk about that a whole lot because, just a quick pass game to help settle in Darnold, I think could be huge for this team. As Wolf Ben saying defending the run. I'm with you on that. Rams, Sean McVay is going to definitely try to run that football this weekend. So hopefully the Vikings are, set up to do a better job. Looking at guys like Ivan Pace, Jalen Redmond to be better. But JD saying, love this channel so much. JD, we appreciate you, man, for the kind words. As Zach Gaiman saying, needle line to keep pressure off Darnold. I mean, yeah, Blake Brandel, Garrett Bradbury, Dalton Reiser, poor performances this past Sunday night. I mean, they really collapsed that pocket on Darnold fast. So hopefully that ends up changing. And then lockdown slot receivers. Well, you're going to be dealing with Puka and Cooper Kupp, who can both play in the slot. So it's going to be a big challenge. But if you guys got questions about this Rams game, or maybe a question about the Vikings offseason, use hashtag Vikings. Or if you guys want to guarantee your spot on the show, just send in a super chat. We would really appreciate it. Helps us keep the lights on here at Chat Sports. So hashtag Vikings. Next to your question in the live chat, you'll get your name, your profile picture right up on screen next to me. And sometimes these mailbags can get up to like 20,000 views. So if you guys want your question seen by 20,000 plus Vikings fans, this is your way to do so and guarantee your spot by sending in a super chat. But we got a lot to discuss today. So coming up, I got 5 changes the Vikings need to make heading into this Rams game. Then I'm going to take the optimistic view and give you guys 5 reasons why the Vikings will beat the Rams. Then also discuss some Sam Darnold because I really feel like this team is set up. They have enough talent around the quarterback where it really, truly all comes down to Sam Darnold. And then, like I said, get those mailbag questions in the live chat, hashtag Vikings. And if you guys are ready to go, just hit that thumbs up icon. We're at 43 likes right now. Hey, once we get 2 more likes and reach 45, we'll dive into today's show. We'll make it, Lonaray's saying, if we have to get 50. So we'll make it 50 likes, 6 more likes, and then we'll get we'll dive in there. Oh, you're right. Yeah, we got more than enough people to get to 50 likes. Hey, there we go, 51 likes. There we go. Appreciate you guys. Hey, my bad for underestimating you Vikings fans in live chat right here. But Jake saying prayers to LA. Yeah, prayers up to everybody in the Los Angeles area. Terrible situation going in over there right now, but also, leaves the possibility of maybe this game getting moved. I saw Ben Lieber, former Vikings linebacker, throw out that they might move it to Arizona or Las Vegas. So again, if we get any updates on that, I will have a video for you guys as soon as that news breaks. So just keep your eyes out for that. But I just saw that the Jets just completed an interview with Matt Nagy. Also, all Vikings fans, I'm sure you guys aren't going to love this, but I am going to start doing some work on our New York Jets channel. I'm just going to be covering the team as well. So hopefully if you guys see those videos, you guys don't get pissed off. I've already made it crystal clear. I am a diehard Vikings fan. I'm not going to, fake root for the Jets, but, they asked me to cover that team over there in New York, and I obviously said yes. And it's a business. We're going to cover the team. They're a very exciting team. So, if you guys are looking for any Jets coverage, I'll also be doing that as well, but still keeping my main focus on the Minnesota Vikings. But Garrett Russborough coming in with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. As Wolf Ben saying, defending the run, O-line, quick pass game, being aggressive, and 5, pressuring the quarterback. Volt, you might have had my script for the video because that's damn near everything I had to say. But Garrett coming in, I appreciate you, my guy, saying if Sam doesn't improve next Monday night and going forward, he ain't coming back. J.J. McCarthy is the future, my personal opinion. Garrett, I 100% agree with you on this. Listen, it's tough to unsee what Darnold put out there. And if he replicates that Monday night and the Viking season ends like that, I will pretty much be saying it's 99% chance that J.J. McCarthy is the starting quarterback next season. But then again, if Darnold goes out there, has a good game, maybe gets us to the NFC Championship game, then I also think he will for sure come back next season. Like, literally this whole Darnold conversation and, why I've said I'm not giving a take on it until after the year, because we saw that in prime example this past Sunday. I mean, guys like Cowherd, all these big-time media heads are saying Darnold might get $50 million before the Lions game, and then it just completely flips on its head. So every take, every thought by even GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah changes week to week here. So I'm not going to give a take on it until after the playoffs end, because it really just comes down to how does number 14 perform in the biggest moments. So, yeah, Jack Wanner obviously saying JJ's the quarterback. I hope so, man. His flow looked pretty good on the sideline. He looked like he maybe lost about 15 pounds. That's something I didn't love, but his hair looked great, man. He looks like Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, that's right. He's recovering. But still hit some curls or something, JJ. He was just looking a little skinny on the sidelines, but I'm sure the Vikings, training staff will get him right eventually. But I said we dive into it. 5 changes the Vikings need to make. Let's get after it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, I have 5 changes that your Minnesota Vikings and Kevin O'Connell need to make before a highly anticipated matchup with the Los Angeles Rams on Monday Night Football. But before we do so, I'm already looking past the Rams. I'm looking at the team that we could be playing in the divisional round of the playoffs and potentially back in Ford Field. I'm talking about the Lions, and right now we are in a sub-battle with this channel. First off, we actually crossed over 50,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for that. That is an unbelievable milestone. But hey, we're still about 32,000 subscribers behind Lions Talk. So if you guys are new here and want to stay up to date around everything around your Minnesota Vikings, hit that sub button, and maybe we can catch Lions Talk by the divisional round. But let's dive into the 5 changes here. So number 1 for me, goal line execution. What was the biggest reason why the Vikings lost to the Lions? Well, they couldn't execute on the goal line, and I got some telling stats for you guys. First off, Ben Gessling coming in here, great beat reporter for the Minnesota Vikings. Give him a follow on Twitter if you haven't already. But listen to this. According to Sports Info Solutions, Vikings running backs have been hit at the line on 72.2% of their runs inside the opponent's 10-yard line. That's the highest rate in the league. So in the deeper red zone, 10 and within, goal-to-go situations, when the Vikings run the football, their running backs are hit at the line of scrimmage on 72.2% of the runs. And everybody was saying after the Lions game, why isn't Kevin O'Connell running the football at the goal line? They can't. They have to have Sam Darnold go out there and execute. Even looking at this, Vikes, goal-to-go rushing situations, EPA, 31st. Yards per rush, 31st. Yards before contact, 30th. Rushing success rate, 31st. They just can't get any interior push. And I think it starts with the left guard, center, right guard combination that we have that has never been good over the last 10 years in Minnesota. Honestly, dating back till probably 15 years ago, 2009, when they made the NFC Championship game. But they can't run the ball on the goal line. But one guy I think that could possibly change this. I'm not saying Cam Akers is a better running back right now than Aaron Jones. But I think Cam Akers offers more physicality than Aaron Jones does. And in those goal line situations where you just need to put your head down and just grind out that extra yard or 2 yards, I think Cam Akers would be better in those situations than Aaron Jones. But I promise you guys this, if you're expecting Kevin O'Connell this Monday night to completely change what he's done over the last 17 games and say, hey, you know what? We're just going to run the ball every single time on the goal line, that won't be the situation. He is still going to put all the success and all the execution on the right arm of Sam Darnold. I promise you that. So, for people saying we got to run the ball more, I hear you, but they haven't been able to do so all season. And number 2 for me, I think Aaron Glenn exposed the Vikings offense in their inability to dink and dunk their way up the field. And how do you combat that? You got to add a quick passing game. And the Lions, little chat stats for you guys here, they sent a single game high 14-0 blitzes on Sunday night. That was the most out of any team in the National Football League. The Lions did that against the Vikings offense. And I thought what was so crazy is that the Lions pretty much said, we'll bring the house every play, and we will leave our DBs one-on-one with your receivers, because they knew Kevin O'Connell. All of these routes are long 10 to 20-yard routes. They take a long time to develop, and when you're bringing those heavy blitz packages, Darnold just didn't have time. So I'm looking at Jefferson, Addison, trying to get them maybe a 4-yard out, just a quick hot route, and get these guys the ball in their hands, because when they do get it, they can make explosive plays. They can turn a 4-yard route or a 4-yard out into a 20-yard gain. And Jefferson, people are saying he got freaking locked up by Amik Robertson. I hear it. Amik had a hell of a day against Jefferson, but also he was holding, he was grabbing. If you don't even want the refs to play a factor, you just go quick passing game. This is something we've been talking about on the channel for, honestly, since the Jags and the Titans games back in weeks, 9 and 10. We saw it. We saw the Vikings don't really have too much success of sustaining these long touchdown drives. Against the Rams this Monday night, you are going to need to do that. And also, you will get Sam Darnold in rhythm. You will get him some easy looks. Because I think Darnold, he kind of reminds me of a basketball player where if they see their first couple of threes go down, they're seeing back iron for the rest of the game. But it's also on the other hand of it, where if Sam Darnold misses his first couple of passes, he could go completely, pumpkin mode like we saw Sunday night, and he just starts sailing everything. So adding a quick pass game, that's number 2 for me. And then number 3, more commitment to the run. And I'm not saying on, goal line situations. I'm just talking about in general, because, I feel like we talk about all the weapons that the Vikings have, Hawk, Addison, Jefferson. One guy who gets really underutilized still is Aaron Jones. And, if you guys go back 2 months ago, I was saying Aaron Jones needs to get less carries because I want him ready to go for the playoffs. And they have done that. Aaron Jones is fresh right now, and he needs to get the football more. He's just too good of a playmaker to not do that. He can get it done in the pass-catching game as well. Over 400 yards through the air, over 1,100 yards on the ground. He's had a great season. And plus, I was thinking about this. If I had to choose just a singular player or a singular coach on all wildcard teams, who has the most pressure on him? I think it's got to be Sam Darnold by far. And not only just the pressure of the success of the team, since obviously if Sam Darnold, if he goes out there and executes and he plays the way we saw him play throughout the first 16 games, this Vikings offense is explosive enough to go drop 30 points on everybody or on anybody. But if he goes the other direction and he starts going pumpkin mode, starts stealing a lot of passes, this offense can really, really spiral out. And so you have that pressure, but then you also have the money aspect. Darnold, 2 weeks ago, we were saying this guy could be making $50 million on the open market. If he goes and replicates what he did against the Lions versus the Rams, I have no idea where that contract number would start. So a lot on the table for Darnold, not just for the success of the team, but also the success of himself, possibly going out there and getting a big contract. But a lot of doubters out there on our guy right now. I just want to show him some love. Type his jersey number, show him our support that even though after that bad game, we still have his back. So type his jersey number, type those 14s down below in the comments section, and show our QB1 some love. Now we'll get to 2 more changes here in a second, but first off, got to tell you guys about a great sponsor we have here at Vikings Now, and that is Game Time. Now, if you guys download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS, you guys will get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Now, Game Time has a sweet new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. And if you guys see Tickets for the Vikings Rams game in Los Angeles, they are expensive. So if you guys are trying to make the trip out west and you guys want to get $20 off, here's your chance to do so. Just download that Game Time app, plug in that promo code CHATSPORTS, that's CHATSPORTS for $20 off. And also Game Time, they have a sweet feature where it gets you a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you even buy, so you guys can know exactly what you will be looking at whatever event it may be. Could be a Vikings game, Wild game, Timberwolves game, any event that requires buying a ticket. I promise you Game Time has it. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Number 4 for me, I'm going to go bring the heat on Stafford. Now, Matthew Stafford, I think he's the best remaining quarterback in the NFC. And the stats, they're not going to blow you away on the year, but they have had to deal with so many injuries offensively, not only to Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, but their offensive line was extremely banged up. This guy still scares me the most out of any quarterback remaining in the NFC in the playoffs, but I do have an interesting stat for you guys. So Matthew Stafford is among the worst QBs in the NFL versus too high coverage. And the Vikings actually run too high at the highest rate in the NFL. So when you guys see Flores run that typical mug look, 7-8 guys lined up on the line of scrimmage, they'll normally drop back into a too high zone, and that's when the Vikings can be extremely successful on Stafford, considering he has struggled against this defensive look the entire season. But I guarantee you, Sean McVay, they will try to combat this with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp in that quick pass game. As much as I was saying I want the Vikings to add a quick pass game, well, on the other side of the field, you got to be able to defend it. You got to be able to get up. Go man-to-man against these two guys, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, because they will kill you if you don't. These two are extremely versatile. You'll see them both in the slot. You'll see them both split out wide. We could even see both these guys in the backfield at the same time. That's how versatile they are in Sean McVay's offense. So Matthew Stafford, he's a great quarterback. He's a Super Bowl champion winning quarterback for a reason. But you got to be able to get some pressure on him, get him off this spot. He can't move as well as he once did, obviously, back in his heyday with the Lions, or even 2 years ago on that Super Bowl run with the Rams. Get him off his spot, get that ball out quick, and hopefully the Vikings defense and Flores will be very successful this Monday night. But number 5 for me, I'm going to go with the tight end on this. Get TJ Hawkinson more touches. I feel like TJ, he's just too good not to get the football more. He's too talented not to get more touches. And this is a playmaker with the ball in his hands. You're paying this guy $17.5 million per year for a reason. And that reason is for him to be an absolute game changer offensively. But on the season, again, in very limited time, only 10 games played, I think he's been underutilized. 41 catches, 455 yards. He still hasn't found the end zone one time. And that's what drives me so crazy about the Vikings stalling out in the red zone last week versus the Lions. You have this guy, 6'5", big old body. Just have him go run a basketball post-up on a little hitch route and just throw him the ball. He's got a massive catch radius, so use him more in the red zone. Also, we talk about quick passing game. What about TJ Hawkinson? He's a guy, super smooth, running routes. He can create, separation in a phone booth here, but he's just too good not to get the football more. And, Frank, I just think he needs a bounce-back game for his confidence. He needs to start reminding himself that he is a top 5 tight end in the National Football League, or else the Vikings, their season could be over Tuesday or Monday night if they don't do these 5 things. So goal line execution, add a quick pass game, more commitment to the run, bring the heat on Stafford, and get your tight end the football more. And I think the Vikings should be all set Monday night versus Los Angeles. But hey, if you guys made it to the end, give me a skull down below in the comment section. We'll use this as a real one roll call. Really appreciate all the real ones who watch this entire thing. So give me a skull down below. And also make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and following me on Twitter. That's a handle right there, @PatSieps. Give me a follow over there. I'll give you guys a follow right back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. As always, Skol Vikes. Alrighty, you guys let me know. What do the Vikings need to change before the Rams game? The Purple Filth in the building. What up? Isaiah Garcia, Colin Weber, Roger Bong. Good to see you, Raj. Back in the house saying skull to the bowl. Barb Canis saying skull. Lee saying skull always. Mason as well. Zach Gaming, Chris, and Joe Johnson. And P. Sane all in the building. Same with Volt. But one more reminder for you guys. We are going to be getting into a mailbag in about 30 minutes or so. So get those questions in there. Hashtag Vikings or Super Chat to get up on the show, just like my man Garrett Russborough did. If you guys could do that, I'd really appreciate it. Just get them in the live chat. Hashtag Vikings helps our software pull them to our system. But appreciate all of you guys tuning in. And I want to talk about Sam Darnold here real quick. As one, I think there's a ton of pressure on him, and I don't think I'm being hyperbolic when I say this. All of the success on this Vikings team comes down to number 14. Just call it like it is. The quarterback position is the most important position in all of sports, and especially with the way this Vikings team is set up, I think it even, it's even more, seen with how the Vikings, operate things here. So we'll dive into it. Let's get after it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, what is the scary truth about the Minnesota Vikings heading into the playoffs? I'll explain my thoughts on that here in a second. But first off, if you guys want the Vikings to advance to the divisional round in the playoffs and beat the Los Angeles Rams, just hit that thumbs up icon. I put the goal on today's show as 1,000 likes, so hopefully you guys blow that goal out of the water. Hit that thumbs up icon. It just helps us get this video out to more and more Vikings fans. And plus, if you guys want the Vikes to beat Los Angeles, hit that thumbs up button. So what's the scary truth around the Minnesota Vikings heading into the playoffs? It all comes down to the right arm of Sam Darnold. I will fully say this confidently. No matter or kind of how far the Vikings go is how good Sam Darnold will play. If he plays great for 4 games, the Vikings will probably win the Super Bowl. If he plays terrible on Monday night, we will start our offseason on Tuesday. And I thought this was on full display versus the Lions. Darnold had his worst game of the year by far. Sailing passes, got the yips, whatever you want to call, chalk it up to. But, he was bad. And I thought there was many plays, for example, that highlighted this because I don't think it was really, Kevin O'Connell calling plays. I thought the weapons could have helped him out just a little bit. But I think here's a good example. 4th and goal, start of the second quarter, 10 minutes left. This is a 7-0 game. I mean, Darnold is looking Addison's way, and he just doesn't rip it. Like, this is a throw he has made countless amount of times throughout the season, and he's staring him down. He has it wide open. Just throw him the football. That's where I get a little concerned heading into Monday night, is just kind of saying, why didn't he throw this? Was this because the moment was too big, or is there another reason why he didn't let this rip? But another play for Addison, I'm sure J.A. was just sick watching the film of this game. 10-6 game in the third quarter, another 4th and goal situation. Addison wide open. They ran a little crisscross route to get Addison open for a reason. And again, Darnold is staring him right down. Why isn't this ball getting thrown? I just don't understand it. I don't know if this is just completely on the yips that were going on for Darnold or if he's just not seeing the field well. So these are 2 plays I wanted to highlight. But also, when I was going back and I was watching the Lions game, I think the score was incredibly misleading. I felt like the Vikings were a couple plays away from beating the Lions. And I thought one play in specific was that Andrew Van Ginkel dropped pick 6 when it was a 17-9 game, start of that 4th quarter. I mean, if he takes that to the house, we possibly have a tie ball game on your hands, but then you snap your fingers 3 minutes later, it's 31-9. Like, you were right there in that game. If you just execute better at the goal line and if you just make a couple more plays, I mean, they truly had a very good chance to beat the Lions. But, this could be a good or a bad thing that it all comes down to 14. Like, it could be a good thing if Darnold goes on a crazy playoff run. And we'll talk about 2 quarterbacks later on today's show that did go on crazy playoff runs. Or it could be a bad thing. If you don't believe in Darnold, you probably don't believe in this Vikings team. But if you do believe in Darnold, then you probably believe in this team. But I will say this. I'm not going to let one game change my whole thoughts on Darnold. Like, I'm not going to let the whole 16-game sample size be thrown out the window because of one bad performance. Yes, it was on the biggest stage. That's probably the most concerning part of all this. But I'm not just going to negate everything he did leading up to it, considering the Packers game the week before, that was a big-time game. And what did Darnold do? He threw for a career-high 377 passing yards, even against the Seahawks. Backed up, 4 minutes left, 24-20 game. Darnold connects with Justin Jefferson down the sideline, made the best throw of his career. So I think there's 2 ways to view this. You got an optimistic view and you got a pessimistic view. I think if you're going to take the positive view of it, He got the big game yips out of the way. He already struggled in the biggest stage against the Lions, and maybe he just needed to get that out of his system. But also, if you want to be negative about the whole situation, you could just say, oh, I don't think Sam Darnold's a big game quarterback. I think when the stage is bigger, his performance is smaller. So it's kind of how you want to view it. I'm an optimistic guy. I'm a positive guy. I'm going to say Darnold got his yips out of the way. But I ask you guys this. Confidence level in Sammy D heading into the wild card weekend for the Minnesota Vikings. Scale it for me, 1 through 10 down below in the comment section. Be honest with me, and let me know your thoughts on Sam Darnold. Now, we'll talk about Sam Darnold more here in a second, but first, I want to give a massive shout-out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Now, if you guys download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code, CLNS. You guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use that promo code, CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. Now, I already cooked up a lineup for the Vikings Rams game this Monday night, and I'm rolling with Justin Jefferson more than 88.5 receiving yards. Aaron Jones more than 20.5 receiving yards as well. And Tyler Higbee, Rams tight end. I think he's going to have a sneaky big game against this Brian Flores defense. I'm going to take his more on 21.5 receiving yards. Whether you guys want to fade my picks, ride with my picks, or make some picks of your own, PrizePicks is the best place to do it. So download the PrizePicks app today. Use that promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. A massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, so I want to go back in time here and look at 2 quarterbacks who won Super Bowls that were, one, not regarded as top 5 quarterbacks in the league, but they played like top 5 quarterbacks during the playoffs. And I think Sam Darnold can fall into this bucket. So we're talking about 2018 Nick Foles. Us Vikings fans, I am sorry for bringing this up, but I just wanted to make a point here. And then 2012 Joe Flacco with the Ravens. But if you guys remember, Nick Foles came in for Carson Wentz. Couple of games before the playoffs started, they had that bye, and Nick Foles, specifically teared up a Mike Zimmer-led defense in the NFC Championship game, but he was awesome. I mean, completing 77 of 106 passes, 971 yards in just 3 games, and he found the end zone 6 times and only threw 1 interception. But, point being here with Nick Foles, you go ask anybody, was Nick Foles a top 5, top 10 quarterback in the league that season? Absolutely not. And the point being here is you don't need a top 5 quarterback to win a Super Bowl. You need top 5 quarterback play just for a month. And I think Sam Darnold has shown that he can go rip off 4 strong games. And another example, what about Flacco? He was unbelievable in 2012. I mean, these stats are ridiculous. I was looking this up, and I was even shocked at the numbers he put up, completing 73 of 126 pass attempts. Over 1,100 yards in 4 games, and he threw for 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He was fantastic. But was Flacco a top 5 quarterback in the league at that point? No, but he played like a top 5 quarterback during that playoff run. So the point here, Darnold is an up-and-down player. I think that's been on full display this season. He'll have his games where he'll really struggle, but also have some games where he will absolutely ball out and look like a true top 5 quarterback in the league. So us Vikings fans, you kind of got to have some blind faith here, and you just got to hope that number 14 brings his A game. But it's also such a good spot to be in as a fan where you can just say, if our quarterback plays well, we got a chance to be in the Super Bowl. And he's shown it. I mean, the stats don't lie. Again, don't let one bad game kind of completely throw out the window what he did in the previous 16, because still, big time throws, 33. That's 3rd in the league. Average depth of target, he pushes the ball downfield, 12th in the league. 5th in passing touchdowns, 5th in passing yards. Now, the one negative here, average time to throw is at 3 seconds. And with the Vikings having some shaky offensive line play, I honestly think there should be a lot less, but also more reason to add in a quick passing game. So, listen, I'm going to take the optimistic view here. I'm going to say Darnold bounces back. And I was also thinking about this. Like, what if Darnold, what if he was always going to have a bad game? And what if he just got it out of the way a week before the playoffs? And what if that would have came if the Vikings would have beat the Lions? What if that would have came in the divisional round? I mean, we would have been panicking here because then you go 15-2. Darnold looks great, but then he lays an egg in the playoffs. Like, this conversation would be a lot more confusing. But right now, I think it's simple. If Darnold plays well versus the Rams, gets you to the NFC Championship game, you definitely bring him back. But also, if he struggles against the Rams, looked like he did against the Lions, I think it's going to be easy to move off him compared to if the Vikings would have gotten the bye and lost in the divisional round. So, if you guys made it to the end of today's show, this will be our real one roll call. Give me a skull down below in the comments section. But I got faith in Sam Darnold. It all comes down to him. I just got a feeling this guy's going to get it done. So give me a skull down below. Also, I'm on Twitter. At Pat Sieps is the Twitter handle. Give me a follow over there. I'll give you guys a follow right back. See you guys next time. As always, Skull Vikes. All right, you guys let me know. Confidence level in Sam Darnold heading into the playoffs. Yeah, but you guys get what I was saying, though. Like, if you want to take the optimistic view, it's like, you know, maybe Sam Darnold had one of these games left in him. He needed to get the yips out of him. Maybe it just came at a better time than if it was in the divisional round. So, I don't know. You kind of got to have some blind faith here. Yeah, that's a great spin zone. That's a great spin zone. But, yeah, I mean, you just got to have faith in him. You know, if he was a more seasoned guy and we've seen him do it in big spots over and over again, like, I would have my confidence level would be at 10. But I'm probably sitting at a 7 or an 8 right now. Hopefully he bounces back. But, again, you just got to get him in rhythm early. Like, the first and second quarter of this Rams game will be so huge because if the Vikings fall back, let's just say, you know, 21-10 in the first half, and you're fighting an uphill battle in the second half, I mean, the pressure would be immense on Sam Darnold. But I think he's going to get it done. I got faith. But we do have a real one in the building. What up, Isaiah? Coming in with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Saying, what better outcome to come back in the playoffs and beat the only two teams who beat us in the regular season? We got this. Come prepared, Skull Vikes. Isaiah, that's on me. I've not even thought about that yet. I've been more thinking about the negative view where it's like, what if the Vikings win 5 games, lose to the Lions and the Rams, win 9 games in a row, and then lose to the Lions and the Rams? That's more view I was taking it. But I love this from Isaiah. I'm going to be saying this all the time. Optimistic over pessimistic. That's my man Isaiah right there. But I love this so much. And plus, I know the old cliche, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. But it is, especially a team in your division. So, Isaiah, thank you so much for sending this in. That's a great thought. That would be awesome. I mean, that would be storybook for us here. You beat the teams that beat you in the regular season. I appreciate you, Zay. But Kenny Cab coming in saying, Hawk to break the DFS slate, 7 for 7 for over 100 yards and a tutty. Skull. So you're putting the player props on TJ Hawkinson this weekend. If you download Prize Picks, I'm pretty sure Hawkinson to find the end zone is a demon play this weekend. I've also missed out on that. Probably, I mean, Hawkinson's played 10 games this season. I've probably taken him to score a touchdown in 7 of those. And I'm doing it again Monday night. I will guarantee you that. When I show you guys my picks, it will have TJ Hawkinson scoring a touchdown because he has to score at least 1 this season. But, you know, we'll see. But, Kenny, I appreciate you for tuning in. But we got one more segment, and then we will get into our mailbag here. So probably about 15 minutes or so. So if you guys got a question you want to ask me, hashtag Vikings or Super Chat, get up on the show. I already appreciate all the real ones that have Super Chatted today. So shout out to you guys. Over 200 people in the building. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. But Isaiah, yeah, multi-millionaire saying Isaiah Garcia with the positive vibes. We need more Vikings fans with your mindset. 100%. And also, you guys can call me out if I'm wrong on this. I feel like there is a little section of Vikings fans who are preying on Sam Darnold to play bad. Like, just a little bit. Like, I've seen people on Twitter, like, after one game be like, oh, this guy stinks. We need to get rid of him ASAP and just throw out everything he has done throughout the previous 16 weeks, mainly because they just want J.J. McCarthy to be the guy. I would love J.J. to be the guy. I would love Darnold to be the guy. But the point is to find that guy. And Darnold has gotten himself in a position this season to prove to himself and prove to us that he is that guy. I don't know. I just have I've seen a little just stupid conversation on Twitter about Vikings fans just absolutely ripping into Darnold. But, you know, I got faith in him, and I know my man Isaiah Garcia does as well. Alrighty, but talk about being optimistic. This next segment, 5 reasons on why the Vikings will beat the Rams this weekend. Very good. Nevada Maverick in the building, saying those kind of fans suck. Darnold played well all year. Let's encourage them, not tear them down. I'm with you. Like, I just don't get it. Tatted saying, good guys, at least you're not me. At least you didn't come to the Vikings for J.J. McCarthy and come back for other J.J. and Yeah, I hear you, Tatted. I just, I love J.J. as well. He went to my freaking high school, so of course I'm going to support him. But, the Vikings come first, and if J.J.'s the guy, I'll be ecstatic. Darnold's the guy, I'd be ecstatic. Just all about finding that guy. But let's talk about it. Vikings beat the Rams if. It's coming up right now. The Minnesota Vikings will beat the Los Angeles Rams if. I got 5 reasons for you guys coming up here in a second. But welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and let's get the good vibes going here early on today's show. If you guys want the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Los Angeles Rams, just give me a couple of skulls down below in the comment section. I want this comment section to look like US Bank Stadium, noon Sunday. It's game day, and all the fans are just screaming skulls. So if you guys want the Vikes to beat the Rams, give me a skull down below in the comment section. All right, Vikings beat Rams if the good Sam Darnold shows up. So I got a couple examples for you guys because Sam Darnold is a very, up and down player. There's no doubt about that. So I got 3 bad Darnold games this year, and they were bad, like extremely bad. Week 18 versus the Lions, we know that stat line. 18 of 41, 166 yards, no tuds, no interceptions. Should have lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 10 in Jacksonville, 24 of 38, 241 yards, no touchdowns, 3 picks. In London versus the Jets, he was terrible in that game. 14 of 31, 179 yards, 1 interception. But I believe that if the good Sam Darnold shows up, this team will go on a deep, deep playoff run. It all comes down to number 14. Because if we get games like this, I don't see the Vikings losing even to the Lions in the divisional or even the Eagles in the NFC Championship. And we talk about the big game yips. Week 16 versus Seattle, that was a big game. He went for 246 and 3 touchdowns. Week 17, your rival in your own house. He put up a career high, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. How about Kirk Cousins? Revenge game, coming back to the bank. That was a big-time game for the Vikes. Well, he put up 347 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now, the one thing that I don't love about this matchup is I think nobody in the league, in the NFL playoffs right now, out of all players, out of all coaches, is under more pressure than Sam Darnold. Because like I was just saying, all the success offensively, honestly, all the success of the whole team comes down to the right arm of number 14. And also for him personally, he wants to get paid this offseason. If he has another stinker like he did against the Lions, I'm sure other teams will be saying, yeah, you had a great year, but in the 2 biggest games of the season, you were the reason your team lost. I'm sure they'll take his price tag down significantly to what it could have been. So if the Vikings want to beat the Rams, this guy's got to have a big-time performance. And speaking about a guy that could help Darnold have a big-time performance, number 18's got to have a legacy game. I think he's the best wide receiver in the league. I think he's the best non-quarterback in the National Football League. But if we remember the last playoff game against the New York Giants back in 2023, it was ugly. 7 receptions. He was not a deep threat in this one. Yes, he was getting the double teams. They were rolling the coverage. I mean, they were having 3-4 guys on him on certain plays. But still, is this up to Jefferson's standard? Absolutely not. 47 yards, don't love it. He did not play his best game in the biggest moments. And considering what just happened last week, where everybody's saying, oh, Amik Robertson locked up Justin Jefferson, I guarantee you, if the Vikings go out there against the Rams and they lose, and let's say Jefferson goes for 50, 60 yards only, there will be a conversation about can Justin Jefferson do it in the biggest spots? Because I can already see the graphic right now. Oh, Justin Jefferson's stats in 2 playoff games, only 100 yards. oh, you look at what he averages in the regular season, but what does he average in the biggest moments? But that's it. The reason I don't think this is going to happen is because you guys remember the Peach Bowl back in 2019, college football semifinal. Number 18 went for 4 touchdowns in the first half. I think he's a big-time player, and I think this Monday night we will have that Justin Jefferson legacy game that I honestly thought was going to come against the Lions, but hey, just push it back a week. Do it in the playoffs. But number 3 here, Vikings beat Rams if Kevin O'Connell adjusts. Now, everybody's freaking out. Vikings need to run the ball on the goal line more. They just frankly can't do it. I don't think Kevin O'Connell was the issue against the Detroit Lions. It was just Sam Darnold missing throws. And check this out. Ben Gessling, great follow on Twitter. Hit him up over there if you guys haven't. But Vikings running backs have been hit on the line on 72.2% of their runs inside the opponent's 10-yard line. So when they're in goal-to-go situations, every time they hand the ball off, their running backs are getting hit 72% of the time at the line of scrimmage. That's not good. That's the worst in the NFL. But also some other stats that are damn near the worst in the NFL. Vikings goal-to-go rushing. EPA, 31st. Yards per rush, 31st. Yards before contact, 30th. Rushing success rate, 31st. So I want KOC to maybe just give a couple more chances for the run game here, but also don't over-adjust. Like, don't come out now against the Rams and be like, oh, we got the ball first and goal from the 5-yard line. We're running the football 4 times. That's not what has gotten you here. So adjust just a little bit, but don't adjust too much. Whatever the answer is to that whole equation, I have full faith in this guy to figure it out. But I'll ask you guys, what's your confidence level in Kevin O'Connell? Scale it 1 to 10 down below in the comment section. I will say this here really quickly. I was just saying how there will be a conversation about can Justin Jefferson get it done in the playoffs if the Vikings lose. There will be a conversation on if Kevin O'Connell is a playoff caliber head coach if the Vikings lose. 13-win season, 14-win season, no playoff wins. This is a huge game for a lot of players on the Vikings roster, specifically the quarterback, head coach, and your best wide receiver. But we'll dive into more reasons why the Vikings could beat the Rams here in a second. But first, got to give a massive shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is Game Time. And if you guys download the Game Time app today and plug in that promo code ChatSports after you create your account, you guys will get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Now, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets or spend time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. Game Time has everything, whether it's a Vikings game, a Minnesota Wild, Minnesota Timberwolves game, they have you covered. Or even if you guys are trying to, make the trip out west, head to the Los Angeles Rams, SoFi Stadium. Game Time is a great way to find tickets to whatever event it may be. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Number 4 on why the Vikings will beat the Rams this Monday night is Flores just has to beat McVay. Now, the Rams offense, it's been up and down all year. I mean, you had the game against the Buffalo Bills where they go hang 44 points, and they look like the best offense in the league. But you take that game out, this offense has been very mediocre. And you see their ranks, 15th, 10th, 24th, 20th, and 23rd. They're just about middle of the pack, if not worse than that, compared to the rest of the NFL. And also, talk about big games. I mean, this is also a big game for Flores. I'm saying this is a big game for everybody, but I think it's true. Like, Brian Flores, if you're trying to go get a head coaching job and you go put a clinic out on Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, I mean, I can guarantee you Flores will get a head coaching gig. But let's just say he gets beat, McVay hangs 35-plus on him, and you can't stop, in my opinion, the second best wide receiver duo in the league behind Addison and Jefferson. I mean, I would be really, really skeptical if Flores ends up getting a head coaching job, which, might in the end be good news for the Vikings. But, personally, I'm rooting for Flores. Like, I would love him to remain the Vikings defensive coordinator for the next 5 years. But I also want him personally to go out there and take another chance at being a head coach. And if you could put on film and add to your resume, like, hey, in the playoffs with the Rams having extra rest considering they sat starters the previous week, and I shut down a McVay-led offense by Stafford, I mean, there's no real better, argument I can make besides that. So Flores, if he beats McVay and he out-schemes them, I mean, really there is no doubt in my mind that the Vikings will be celebrating Victory Tuesday next week. And, I put the last one here as Vikings beat Rams if the other guys show up. And I'm not talking about your typical stars. I'm not talking about Jefferson, Grenard, Van Ginkel. I'm talking about these 10 other guys. I'm talking about Stephon Gilmore. What about if he goes and has an interception? What if Ivan Pace plays a game of his life and he has 4 TFLs and he completely limits the Rams' rushing attack? What if Blake Cashman has his typical interception sack game? What about the guy that broke out, Jalen Redmond, Harrison Phillips? And then offensively, got to have somebody else besides Jefferson step up. Addison, Oliver, Aaron Jones, Jalen Naylor, and Brandon Powell. But why I also do believe the Vikings will beat the Rams is that we have had other guys step up throughout the year. I mean, Jalen Redmond came out of nowhere. Now he's a star defensive tackle for this team. Josh Oliver. I mean, people were just viewing him as just a run-blocking tight end, but he's made big-time plays throughout the year. And, if one of just the non-stars on the Vikings just makes a play here and there, it will be huge this Monday night. Like, what if Naylor has a 70-yard touchdown? What if Brandon Powell or Ty Chandler house a punt or a kick return? That could flip the game. But in these playoff games, specifically on the road, you need these other guys that are non-stars on your team to just go change the game. And the Vikings have a lot of guys that can do that. So I kind of want to take the pressure off, Jefferson, Darnold, because they got a lot of pressure on them, Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores. The other guys, you got a chance to go get paid. You got a chance to go make a name for yourself. Wild Card weekend, Monday night, all eyes will be on the Vikings and the Rams. So hopefully somebody will step up and make a big-time play for our Vikes. But speaking about guys that need to step up, name a player for me that needs to step up. Let me know his name down below in the comment section. If I had to give one here, put myself on the spot, I'm leaning Jalen Naylor, but I'm gonna go Jalen Redmond. I think if Jalen Redmond has a massive game at the interior defensive line position, that would be huge. So I'll go Jalen Redmond for mine. You guys let me know. And also, if you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's the handle at Pat Sieps. We will also be going live on the channel for the Vikings Rams game, probably at around 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you guys want to hang out there, make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you guys get notified every single time we go live or post a video. But it has been an awesome year covering the Vikings with you guys, and I just hope it doesn't all come crashing to an end Monday night. I don't think it will. I'm going to be drinking a lot of purple Kool-Aid throughout the week, so hopefully we end up getting a big-time win. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. See you next time. Let's go Vikes. Alrighty. I see a couple of Gilmores coming in there. Yeah, I mean, Gilmore's got a tough matchup, trying to keep up with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Also, I think Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, two of the best names in the NFL. They just flow off the tongue. I love them. They're also very physical. I mean, they'll get it done in the run blocking department as well. Julian giving me a 14. Roger saying it is all good. Believe. It's just crazy how it could all come crashing to an end Monday night, man. It really, really is crazy. But we're about to dive into a mailbag here. So if you guys got a question for me, hashtag Vikings in the live chat or super chat to get up on the show. We're going to need a couple more questions in there. So if you guys have any questions about the game, the Vikings off season, or even about the Lions game, please get those questions in there. And normally these mailbags get seen by tens of thousands of Vikings fans. So you'll have your name right up on screen next to me, your profile picture. Even if you got a question about the kicker, I should have put that in one of these videos. Will Reichard just needs to change, just needs to get back on track. But Dingleberry saying no more 52-yard field goals in the second half, please. Yeah, especially when it's 4th and 4 and you're down 8. I would hope they would not settle for the field goal there and go for it. Yeah, you guys are putting a lot of great questions in there, but if you guys could, next year question, just put hashtag Vikings. So Vikings fan, just put hashtag Vikings at the end of it, and then also Damon, if you could just add hashtag Vikings to the end of that, it helps us out. We'd appreciate it. Shout out to you, Vikings fan. I appreciate you. just hashtag Vikings, or if you guys really want to get your thoughts up on screen, super chatting is the best way to do so. Appreciate you, Gromit Mitten. Gromit Mitten. Appreciate you. Get those questions in there. We'll dive into this mailbag here in a sec. Alrighty, mailbag time before the biggest game of the year, man. Biggest game of the year. Alrighty, let's do it, guys. It's mailbag time here at Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in. We're on today's show. It's all about you guys. We are just going to answer questions from our loyal fan base here at Vikings Now for about the next 10 to 12 minutes or so. But speaking about a real one and a loyal fan of the program, Garrett Russborough coming in, saying if Sam doesn't improve next Monday night and going forward, he ain't coming back. J.J. McCarthy is the future, my personal opinion. And, you know, Garrett, I agree with you. Like, if Sam Darnold literally just replicates what he did against the Lions and then he does it against the Rams, I really doubt he'll be back as a starting quarterback next season. But also on the opposite side of it, if he goes back to what he's been doing for the first 16 games of the season, he will probably be back. Like, that's also why I have not came out and gave a strong take on what I think the Vikings could do, because this is just, it changes every single day. Like, I'm sure Kwesi's opinion changes every single game on Sam Darnold, and even Kevin O'Connell. I mean, I'm sure he was saying before that Lions game, like, oh, Sam Darnold's our guy. We're going to rock out with him for the next 3 to 4 years. But after seeing what he put on display against the Lions, I'm sure they're a little skeptical on if he can be the guy. Like, can Darnold play in big games, or was he just off for one? Like, that's really going to be answered this Monday night against the Rams and, you know, hopefully for the playoffs moving forward. But, Garrett, I appreciate the question. Isaiah Garcia coming in saying, what better outcome to come back in the playoffs and beat the only 2 teams who beat us in the regular season? We got this. Come prepared, Skol Vikes. I need everybody in the comment section right now to give me a Skol Isaiah. I love this optimistic view of this, because I've been taking the negative view of it, where I've been saying, could you imagine the Vikings win their first 5 games, lose to the Lions and the Rams, win their next 9 games, lose to the Lions and the Rams? I mean, what a disaster that would be. Probably would be the most Viking season of all time. But I love this viewpoint. Just saying, hey, yeah, the season didn't end the way we wanted to, but you're also set up to go and beat the only 2 teams who have beat you in the regular season. I love that. Use that as that extra motivation. Stack that chip on your shoulder, and hopefully, you know, you can just, you know, take care of business that you weren't able to handle during the regular season and do it in the bigger moments in the playoffs. So everybody, seriously, I love this view from Isaiah Garcia. Give me a Skol Zay down below. Kenny Cab saying, Hawk to break the DFS slate, 7 for 7 for over 100 yards and a tutty. Kenny Cab, I love that. Hockenson needs to have a big game. I've been saying they need to get him the football more, and I will guarantee you they will have a couple of plays in the red zone this weekend for TJ Hockenson, whether that's that typical, you know, big body tight end. They run the hitch route. They kind of post up like a basketball player, and you just got to throw it, you know, somewhat in his massive catch radius. But, hey, on Prize Picks this week, I promise you I will be taking more on whatever TJ Hawkinson's receiving yards is at. But Roger Bong coming in saying, hashtag Vikings. Do you think trying to go for it like the Lions do was the best way to go? I think you take the points when it is close, or you need to be able to run. Roger, I actually disagree with you on this. I think it was the best way to play it. I think the Vikings needed to be aggressive against the Lions and, you know, keep this process-based and not results-based. Like, yes, the result was terrible. He went for it 4th and goal on the goal line 2 times and he didn't get it. That's a terrible look. I mean, that leaves a sick feeling in my stomach. But I like the process. I like the thought process of it. where it's saying, hey, we got to maintain pace with a high-scoring offense like the Lions. We got to go for it on these tight situations. I'm assuming Kevin O'Connell will have that same mindset if they play again in the divisional. But I promise you, if the results are different, we would be having a whole different conversation. And it's not like the play calls that they had out there were just terrible play calls and nothing was available. I mean, a couple of times Jordan Addison's just running, wide open, and Darnold just didn't hit him. That's not on the head coach. That's not on Addison. That's not on the decision. That's just on Sam Darnold having a very bad game. So I hope KOC stays aggressive throughout the playoffs. But Roger, appreciate that question. Zach Gaiman 23, #Vikings. If Darnold starts out the Rams game like he did the Lions, do you keep him in, start Mullins, or start Daniel Jones in the second half? Yeah, I don't know is right. I have seen this floated out there on Twitter, and I don't mean to call you out right now, Zach Gaiman. I think this would be idiotic. Could you imagine if Darnold goes in the first half and he's 9 of 20 for 70-something yards and a pick, and then you see Nick Mullins or Daniel Jones roll out there in the second half? I mean, that would be coaching malpractice. And again, gets me back to this point. Do not let a game or a game and a half in this situation throw out the window what Darnold did the previous 16 games. Because you think Nick Mullins is going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Matthew Stafford in a playoff game? You think Daniel Jones is going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Stafford and McVay in the biggest stage possible, an NFL playoff game? Absolutely not. Sam Darnold could go 0 for 20 with 4 interceptions in the first half, and I still think you put him out there in the second half. This is the guy that got you there. Ride or die with him no matter what happens. But speaking about that Rams game, predict the score for me. Vikings versus Rams. My score prediction early on in the week was 27-24. I'm going to stay with that. But you guys let me know. Let's hear it down below in the comment section. Predict the score. Vikings, Rams, Monday Night Football. Now we'll get to more of your guys' questions here in a second. But first off, got to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. And if you guys download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS. You guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use that promo code CLNS. Get that $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. I already got my lineup for the Vikings-Rams game locked in here. I'm going to take the more on Justin Jefferson receiving yards at 88.5. Aaron Jones, I'm going to take his more on his receiving yards at 20.5. I'm going to go with the Rams tight end, Tyler Higbee, more than 21.5 receiving yards. But, hey, fade my picks, ride with my picks, or make your own picks. Just do so at PrizePicks and download that app today. Use that promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use that promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. A massive shout-out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, run your game. Finn Sean coming in saying #Vikings. What do you think of D. Jones' move this week just because of eventual picks, or is there more to it? I don't think there's more to it. I think this is a comp pick situation where if Daniel Jones does leave the Vikings this offseason and he signs a deal with another team, it just helps the formula for Minnesota. Maybe they can end up getting a 3rd or a 5th round pick of it. I don't think this is like a crazy conspiracy where it's like, oh, Daniel Jones could start in the second half if Sam Darnold struggles. I just don't think that's the case. Now, if I'm wrong on that and there is more to it and that could be the plan, oh, man, would that be interesting Monday night. But, Finn, I just think it's a comp pick move from Quasi on that one. Isaiah Garcia, $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Saying #Vikings. Team mentality includes the fans. We have to be all in, not ridicule the team when they suck like they did last week. Everybody has bad days. I think the Minnesota Vikings need to hire Isaiah Garcia as just like a pregame guy. Like you just get in the locker room, you just roll in Isaiah Garcia right before they're about to take the field, and it's just everybody's quiet. And Isaiah Garcia gets the fan base ready and the team ready. But say, I'm with you. Like, we're 14-3, guys. Listen, I've been very, very disappointed in just seeing Vikings fans react to the Lions game. I get it. It sucked. You got embarrassed with the whole world watching your favorite team on Sunday Night Football. But don't let one game just kind of mask what an amazing year this was. Because it truly was an amazing year. The amount of memories I have from this season that I'm going to have for the rest of my life, that's special. Even if Darnold, if he goes out there and sucks against the Los Angeles Rams, yeah, one, I would be pissed off. I would be mad at him. But then once time goes on, I'll always remember, man, do you remember that one year we went 14-3 with Sam Darnold before J.J. McCarthy won us a Super Bowl? Like, sorry, Jack laughed right there. I wasn't trying to make a joke. Point being, Isaiah, enjoy this season. Don't completely throw out what happened just because of one game. Zay, I appreciate you, though, man. Vikings fan coming in. Hashtag Vikings. Our whole secondary needs to step up if you want to stop Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. I mean, yeah, that's concerning because these two are elite. Put them out all over the field. Put them in the slot. Put them outside. Put them in the backfield. I mean, Sean McVay will have these guys in motion all game long. And I'm with you. Like, I really do believe it. Like, Stephon Gilmore, Byron Murphy specifically, if he could just shut down one of these guys, that would be huge. But the one good thing I think about the Vikings DBs going against the Rams is that Vikings corners don't travel with certain receivers. So even if, like, we had a lockdown guy, like, let's take Derek Stingley, for example, and we're like, hey, we're putting them on Puka, and then they're moving Puka all across the field. Like, it can get confusing. The Vikings will just stay in base defense. I don't think they're going to travel a corner. And, yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp and Puka definitely scare the hell out of me. But I appreciate your question. Meep coming in. What up, Meep? Saying Kevin O'Connell needs to run Akers more. Hashtag Vikings. Yeah, I would like for him to get a little more run. Because he's looked good, man. I mean, he had that game-winning catch against the Packers, had that super long 50-plus yard run against the Lions this past week, and he's a playmaker with the ball in his hands. And plus, if you just want to take the pressure off Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson, getting a running backs the ball more is a great way to do so. But I also don't think Kevin O'Connell has a lot of faith in this interior offensive line. They're banged up. Losing Darisaw at the left tackle spot was a huge loss for this team. So I don't think O'Connell has a lot of faith in this team being able to run the football, but I'm with you. At least just get him at least 2 or 3 more touches than he's been getting per game. Dingleberry saying hashtag Vikings. Thoughts on the mental game with Sam? It really doesn't seem like it's only pressure from the opponent. It feels like when KOC goes quiet, so does Sam. Kev might need to work on his halftime speech. Yeah, I guess that's what the concerning part of Sunday night was. Like, if Darnold had this game noon on a Sunday, you could just easily chalk it up to he just had a bad day. He was sailing passes. He just wasn't in rhythm. But considering it was the Lions in the biggest regular season game, I mean, since damn near 1993 in the NFL, and Darnold put that out there, like, yes, that is very concerning. But the one thing that I thought about, I mean, literally right now, was how Kevin O'Connell's always talking to Darnold? Like, that one clip went viral when he was like, hey, get in the huddle, tell the guys this, hey, you're doing great, yada, yada, yada. And he's like hyping them up and all of that. The one thing in big games that's a little concerning about that is that, one, the crowd noise on the road. You're going to be on the road again this weekend, and you have that raining down on you, and you have Kevin O'Connell telling you 1,000 things in your ear. It's probably tough to just be, completely focused on making the right throw, making the perfect throw. So I wonder if they'll adjust that where they let Darnold kind of run the show a little more in these bigger games. But that's just a random thought I had, but I appreciate you. Gromit Mitten saying, which Vikings on our current roster do you think is the strongest Hall of Fame candidate? Hashtag Vikings. Great question, my man. I mean, Jefferson. See, I'm between Justin Jefferson and Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith's a lock, so I'd probably say him. I mean, Jefferson's a couple years away from being a lock there, but I'm trying to think of any other. Yeah, probably just Harrison Smith and Jefferson. Yeah, I'll go Harry the Hitman on this. Underrated. Had another interception last week. I mean, the man's 36 years old, still getting it done at the safety spot. See in the live chat right now, Brian O'Neill. I don't know if he would be HOF. Yeah, I'll go Harry the Hitman on that one. But, hey, let's close it out here. Last video you guys are seeing before the Rams game. And if you guys want the Vikings to beat the Rams this Monday night, give me a skull down below in the comments section. And also, I'm on Twitter, @PatSeeps is the Twitter handle. Give me a follow over there. And thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time. Skol Vikes. Alrighty. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. A little bit of a longer live show today. So we appreciate you. But we're going to sign off here. Thank you guys for everybody who tuned in today. Almost had 3,000 people hop in this live show. So that is just awesome stuff. We'll be live about an hour and a half before kickoff. Monday night versus the Rams. Cannot wait. Shout out to Crispy, Bill, Skol Nation, Finn, Vikings fans. Shout out to Isaiah Garcia. Honestly, Isaiah, you were the star of this live show, man. I just love the super chats you were sending in. Zay saying we appreciate you and all the crew at Chat Sports. Yeah, shout out to Jack Loneray, produce this whole thing. Give me a Skol Jack down below. But we're going to hop on out of here. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.